And when he saw my check, or the amount of money I had in my checkings account, he had the same reaction that that previous woman had. Whoa, dude, he's like, hey man, congratulations, good for you, this is amazing. It was like $2,000.
How much is in your bank account?
$317.36.
What do you do for a living?
I work for 3 different shops. I do flooring.
That's the previous stranger's bank account balance. What advice do you have for them?
I recommend that he invest that money into like gold or property to flip that money.
And now, would you be down to share how much is in your bank account?
63.
How does one invest $317.36 into property? I'm just curious. If you guys know, let me know, because I don't know how that works.
$1,221.65.
What do you do for a living?
I actually do several things. I'm a machine operator, and I also do a lot of sports betting. It's not good, but it's hard. It's a heart attack, but at the end I still win. And I just invest into gold. Gold is where the money's at right now.
This is the previous stranger's bank account balance. What advice do you have for him?
I don't have any advice. That's a lot of money. Good for him.
And now, would you be down to share how much is in your bank account?
Sure, $6,000.
So why would you keep $63,000 in your personal checking account? I'm assuming this is a checking account and this is his personal checking account. I get it if it's like a business account where you do a lot of transactions on a daily basis, that makes sense. But if it's your personal checking account, that should not be in there. Maybe your savings, is an emergency fund or something like that, or your investment account. But as far as your actual checking account where you make daily transactions from it, you have $63,000 there. I can't think of too many reasons why you would do that. You let me know what you think.
$979.
What do you do for a living?
Right now, I serve, I work at a restaurant, and then I teach.
This is the previous stranger's bank account balance. What advice do you have for them?
I'm also a teacher, and so my bank account looks similar right now. I don't have any advice for her. Keep trying. Mine looks bad too.
And now, would you be down to share how much is in your bank account?
Sure. I have like $3,600 right now.
What do you do for a living?
I am a music teacher.
That's the previous stranger's bank account balance. What advice do you have for them?
I think it's a good amount. I really do. Yeah. Yeah, especially for a teacher, that's a really good amount. I know a lot of teachers that don't have that much, so that's a good amount right there. I'd say so.
And now, would you be down to share how much is in your bank account?
$4,722.
What do you do for a living?
I own a restoration company, and then I just started getting into trading, so that's where I'm at right now too.
Okay, so he said he's into trading. So again, I can think of a few reasons why one might have a lot of money in their checking account, say more than $2,000, $3,000 or $5,000 even. And that would be if you have a business, if you do something like trading. But even if you trade, that's considered a business. I'm pretty sure it can be. So you should probably have a separate account for that as well. So I don't know why there'd be really much of a reason to have a lot of money in your checkings account unless you're using that really soon to make a big purchase. Other than that, I really don't understand it. So again, the $63,000 just is way too much. And the $7,000 that the teacher has in her account, I'm gonna assume here, and I'm making an assumption, so I could be wrong. So if I am, forgive me. But part of me thinks maybe because of her profession, maybe she's not as financially knowledgeable, which again is a completely just off the wall assumption. I could be completely wrong. Which may be why she keeps so much in her checkings account as opposed to a high yield savings account if it's an emergency fund or in the stock market to invest. And again, some people are kind of afraid to invest, and so they keep their money in cash and they hoard it. But if you're gonna keep it in cash, at least put it in a high yield savings account. Keeping it in a checking account is kind of ridiculous.
How much is in your bank account?
Roughly $6,800.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a coach. I train people like bodybuilding, fitness.
That's the previous stranger's bank account balance. Whoa! What advice do you have for him?
How can I get like you, my boy? Cause I'm gonna need that.
And now, would you be able to share how much is in your bank account?
$38.47.
What do you spend your money on?
I spend my money on my kid, gas mostly. Right now, I'm like, I don't really have a job because I work for elementary school. And so, they're in summer school. So it's like, I'm not getting called into work. I do Uber on the side as well.
That's the previous stranger's bank account.
All right, really quickly, guys, I have a story to share. So one time I was out having a drink and there's a restaurant, or it's not a restaurant. It's like a place you go and you scan your card and you can pour the beer yourself or the drink yourself. And I was there doing work. And I couldn't get the card to work. So I went to there was a charge in my card. They placed a hold on your card, a temporary hold. I didn't know that. So I went to the front person to ask what the hold was for. I didn't know it was temporary at the time. I thought they overcharged me. And when I did that, he asked me to show him where the charge was at so he could confirm. So I opened my bank account and I show him the charge. And when he saw my check, or the amount of money I had in my checkings account, he had the same reaction that that previous woman had. Whoa, dude, he's like, hey man, congratulations, good for you, this is amazing. It was like $2,000. And that's like the most I ever keep in my checkings account. Cause like I said, I put it in my high yield savings or it goes to investing, whatever. So in my mind, I'm like, man, this is crazy because some people, that's a lot of money. And some people, it's a lot of money. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying I have a ton of money. It just reminded me about how we all operate with different mindsets and beliefs about money and what is a lot of money and how much we've seen. Like to me, if I see the bank account of someone who is a millionaire, I'll probably be blown away. in my mind, unfortunately, is not yet calibrated to think, oh, this is not unusual. We can all be there if we think differently. So I don't know, her reaction made me think about that, because it's just like I said, we're all just operating with different software programming in our heads. We all have, like, it's not saying that we can't learn how to think differently. It's just that based on how we were raised, who we were raised by, what we learned in school, in church if you go to church, in your community, from your parents, from your friend group, it kind of shapes how you see the world, including money.
Balance, what advice do you have for them?
Stay home. I'm sorry, that's just save money.
And now, would you be down to share how much is in your bank account?
Yes, 40,000.
What do you spend your money on?
I mean, honestly, we just save. Well, I have a business. Well, it's actually a truck registration business, and then my husband works.
This is the previous stranger's bank account balance. What advice do you have for them?
Invest in a house, property. Let me get some of that money.
And now, would you be down to share how much is in your bank account?
Yes, negative 130 or 86 cents.
What do you do for a living?
I work in construction. I'm a plasterer.
This is the previous stranger's bank account balance. What advice do you have for him?
To stop spending and start saving.
And now, would you be down to share how much is in your bank account?
Yes, 27K. I work at a casino.
How much is in your bank account?
Roughly 6,800.
What do you do for a living?
27K. I work at a casino.
So again, I don't watch this guy's channel very often, but I'll link to his channel in the description of the video. But I'm curious to see if these people are talking about their savings account or their checkings account. I keep making that distinction because, once again, I don't understand why you would have $40,000 or almost $30,000 just hanging around in your checking account. I really just don't get it. There's not much of a reason for it. Even, like I said, even for an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months, 1 year, shoot, 36 months, if you really want to get conservative about it, should not be in a checkings account where you're earning nothing. Not to say you're earning a lot of high yield, but still, I don't understand why, again, unless it's a business checking account, because there's a lot of transactions that flow through it on a daily basis. I don't understand. So I'm curious to see, like, I would be curious to know, is this checking or savings? Is it high yield savings? Is it a business account? Is it a personal account? Probably personal from these interviews. And why so much money in your checkings account? And how much do you have in your savings account? Is it all your checkings? As a matter of fact, I don't know them personally, but my father knows someone who they do not believe in having a savings account. They say that, I think their philosophy is that they could die any day, and what's the point of having a savings account? So they only have a checking, and they make sure that they don't really keep any money on hand. They spend the money that comes in. So they pretty much live paycheck to paycheck on purpose, essentially. And I never even thought about that mentality being something that exists, because I think so much differently than that. So when my dad told me that, I was kind of shocked, like, wait, what is this? And this guy, by the way, he has a wife. I don't know if he has kids or not, but he has a wife. And they have a plan to travel across the US in like a camper or RV. And apparently he shows up to work for overtime whenever something like happens where he needs extra cash or something like that. He really does live his life on the margin on purpose. So like I said, I was blown away by that. Just like how the other girl here in the video was blown away by the person that had all that money in the checkings account. I'm blown away by people that have that kind of mindset to where they just keep everything at zero and live paycheck to paycheck. But yeah, so when I see this, it's like this just reminds me how different we all are. Someone has negative 130, someone has 40K, someone had like 60K. And sometimes it's because you don't make enough, but even if, like as a construction worker, you probably make decent money. I know it can be seasonal and all these different variables. And we don't know what he's going through in his life, but having a negative balance is not really something that should be a thing. I don't think, but I don't want to sound like I'm coming from a privileged perspective.
How much is in your bank account?
$9,609.94.
What do you do for a living?
I'm in sales, inside commercial sales. What I specifically sell is large dumpsters.
That's the previous stranger's bank account balance. What advice do you have for them?
Just be more tighter with your money and pay attention to what you're spending.
And now, would you be down to share how much is in your bank account?
56K.
What do you spend your money on?
Traveling all over the world, Europe, hopefully to Tokyo in the end of the month.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a sales rep.
What do you sell?
Bread, to be honest with you.
This is the previous stranger's bank account balance. What advice do you have for them?
Just keep saving and doing what you got to do to keep the grind going.
And now, would you be down to share how much is in your bank account?
Yes. So there's $0 in my bank account after paying bills.
What do you do for a living?
I work at Regal Theater. I work concessions. I work as an usher, help with customers get their orders, make popcorn.
That's the previous stranger's bank account balance. What advice do you have for him?
I feel like we've all been there before, so I can't say shit.
And now, would you be down to share how much is in your bank account?
Yeah, $492.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a stay-at-home mom.
So your husband makes all the money?
Yeah.
What does he do for a living?
He works at USPS.
That's the previous stranger's bank account balance. What advice do you have for them?
Don't, especially at that balance, don't look for things to buy. Look only for what you need as an essential, not any frivolous spending or luxuries.
And now, would you be down to share how much is in your bank account?
Yeah, $2.10 in my checking and then $99 in my savings right now. But it is payday tomorrow, and I was treating my daughter. I paid off my credit cards, and I'm comfortable, so not too worried about it.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a driver manager for a trucking company.
How much is in your bank account?
$9,609.94.
What do you do for a living?
I'm in sales. Inside.
What do you have for them? Your bank account.
Tokyo in the end of the month.
What?
Europe, hopefully.
Stranger's bank. Share how much is in.
I work.
Oh, would you be down to share how much is in your
My savings right now. But it is payday tomorrow, and I was treating my daughter. I paid off my credit. So not too worried about it.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a driver manager for a trucking company.
Okay guys, I feel like I need to pay more attention to some of these videos because I just realized that they flash on the screen sometimes, the checking and the savings at the bottom and the top. So the numbers they're talking about is what's in their savings and their checking account. Okay, so now that I know that, I kind of want to go back and see some of these people who I was kind of like, why the heck do you have so much in your savings account? I mean, checkings account. Because I'm curious to see how much of that was in their savings versus their checking. So I'm going to scroll back and see. And so that way I can determine whether or not it was all checking or most of that was in their savings account. Okay, so this guy doesn't say, it just says available balance is 63,000. So I don't know how much of this is in checking versus savings, but this is the guy who had the most amount of money, I guess, in whatever accounts that they're looking at. Okay, so here's another person that had a lot of money that was in their savings, or their checking is what I thought. But from looking at this, it's including their savings account and literally 90% of it is in her checking. Oh wait. They're both checking accounts. I was gonna say 90% of it's in her savings account. They're both in checkings accounts. Why does she have two different checkings accounts? Okay, so maybe she uses one of her checking accounts as a savings account. But in that case, just get a freaking savings account. I don't get it. Like the small, like listen, again, I'm not gonna say that a high yield savings account that pays you 3.75%, 4% APR or APY rather, or APR, is really going to make a huge difference in your finances, because it won't, but it's gonna be a lot better than 0.00025% that you're gonna get in most major banks. So at the very least, have it in the high yields. Or if you really wanna get fancy with it, you know, you can put it into something that's a little more safe. You don't have to put it into like stocks per se, especially not individual stocks or even ETFs or index funds. You could put it into a money market account. You could put it into a CD. I mean, a CD that matures after what, a year if you don't need the money right away or whatever, and you can get a decent return. It'll probably be the same amount as a high yield savings account. You know, you can put it into a treasury bill or something like that. It gets a little more sophisticated, but it's a bit safer than just putting it into the stock market. I get it, but yeah, I don't understand why they have any checking accounts. Anyways, so yeah, so as you can see, guys, I don't know, how much is in your wallet? That's like I'm like Capital One commercial. This entry video just to see regular people, because we always hear about these rich people and the Jeff Bezoses and the, you know, all these billionaires and multimillionaires on TV, and you're like, oh man, look at their net worth, it's crazy. But you're kind of disconnected from that, at least me, because it's just so out there. And some of us don't know people who have a lot of money or what their finances look like, because people that you know, you probably don't discuss what's in their checking and savings accounts. It's kind of a personal topic. So it's always interesting to see what different people's financial situations look like in different areas of their life. Sometimes what their mortgages are, sometimes what their car notes are. We know people love to spend way too much on cars and go into debt for them. In this situation, we're looking to see how much people have in their savings and checkings accounts. So it's kind of interesting just to get a different point of view and compare it to yourself. It's interesting. I won't say how much I have in my checkings and savings. That's not for this video. But I will say that some of these numbers are pretty impressive, especially compared to the stats that say that, what is it, like 2 or 3 in 5 Americans don't have enough money in their checking or savings account put away to withstand a $1,000 emergency expense, I think. And so it's kind of scary. So when you see people that have a lot of these green numbers, especially the higher ones, you know, it's more of a positive thing to see as opposed to all the doom and gloom. With that being said, guys, hopefully you have a lot of money in your bank account. And if you've enjoyed the video, let me know. Feel free to give it a like and to subscribe. And until next time, make smart financial decisions.